Will LEGO City Space continue its hot streak into 2025? Let's find out. Hello everybody, the Brickologist here with a 2025 LEGO City Space set review. Today we have set number 60446, Galactic Spaceship. This set retails for about $80 US. I got my copy at my local LEGO store. It contains 717 pieces, and here is a front look at your box with that fabulous looking space branding in the corner there, carrying over from 2024. Moving on towards the back of the box, you can see some various images of the set and the play features inside. Included with this set here are 3 instruction manuals. The first one has 71 pages of building, the second one has 39, and the third one also has 71 pages of building. At the back of said third manual, there is an advertisement for last year's space sets. Quick editor's note, I am battling through some sort of post-holiday cold, so bear with me, my voice will definitely crack throughout this review, but you know what? The grind doesn't stop, the show must go on. Let's get on with the reviews, baby. 717 pieces later and the build is now complete, and there's not a ton of side builds in this set, but the whole thing is modular and we will talk about that throughout this video. But first, let's look at the minifigures included here. So for each of the blue, green, and the kind of school bus yellow or Kitangu orange for you classic Bionicle fans out there, space crew members, you get these new uniforms. Now this torso print is very similar to one we saw from the Build a Minifigure section at the LEGO store in May of 2024, but from my research, I think these are all brand new torso prints and currently exclusive to this set, which is very cool. And all of these figures have helmets, they have face prints, and they have additional hair pieces, which is fantastic. The back printing is nice as well. The biggest problem here is none of them have leg printing, and that is really boring and really lazy, especially compared to pretty much every other figure from this sub-theme who have leg printing. So not a big fan of that, but other than that, these are really nice figures. You also get an additional blue space crew member, and she has no new printing, it's all reuses from last year, but she has this very nice kind of big bulky jetpack piece for spacewalks and such, and I think that is a really fun inclusion with this set that helps differentiate her from the pack. Additionally, she comes with a hair piece as well, so all 4 human figures in this set get hair parts, which is great. The weird little alien guy we saw in the science lab set makes an appearance here as well with a helmet of his own, adorable looking figure. Finally, you get this little drill robot guy who has the power cell on the back and articulated drill arms. Very fun small inclusion with this set. Before we focus on the spaceship itself, you do get 2 of these space rocks, which are molded in gunmetal gray and transparent blue, and I think they're pretty cool looking parts, especially on the inside here. You can open them up and add some accessories in there if you so choose. So yeah, these are nice inclusions. Now it's time to focus on the spaceship itself. Now this entire thing can come apart into different modular sections, and towards the end of this video I will demonstrate how all of that works, but for the beginning, let's just go through the way LEGO tells you to assemble it at first. Let's kick things off with the front section of the vehicle, which just so happens to be the main cockpit as well. Some decent snot techniques with a sticker on the side here for some added detail. You do have a print of the space logo. We've seen that in a lot of these sets, and the cockpit itself doesn't have a hinge piece or anything, but it does come off pretty easily there, which is nice. And the interior is not half bad. There is a printed control panel. We have seen that in a lot of these space sets, and there are 2 seats on the inside, one for a human and one for our little alien buddy, which is super cute. Moving behind the cockpit, this section from the side does not look super interesting. We'll talk more about what that gold piece does here in a minute, but there is an interior. You can take off the top here by accessing this little port, and the inside is, it's okay. There is a sticker control panel in there, and there's a big spot, and I'm assuming that's where you're supposed to put the figure with the jetpack plenty of room to store that, which is nice, but overall the details inside there are kinda lacking. That brings us to the midsection of the spaceship here, which has these storage containers on the side that can open up to reveal some of these very, very cool crystal pieces we saw in the sets last year. These, of course, are the power source for pretty much everything in this LEGO City Space sub-theme, so nice to get those here as well. As for the interior here, there actually is an easy way to access this. There's a hinge on this part to open it up, and it reveals a very small little rack there with a wrench. There's a little ladder piece on the side, and this side has a sticker control panel, and there's a spot to hook your little robot guy on the wall, which is fun, but overall, just not a whole lot going on in here as well, similar to this section. Lucky for us, the lack of interior detail is about to change, but first let's look at the exterior detail of this back section, starting off with these wings right here. They have the power cells we've seen throughout these city space sets that are apparently powering these entire vehicles and these engines right here, which is pretty cool. You can also move these flaps up and down. Not much of a play feature, but always nice to see. And speaking of engines, the main engine at the back here is a pretty fun design. I know this is a 7+ LEGO City set, but Star Wars designers take note. This looks really, really good. It also can rotate, which I found very fun. As for the rest of this section, it definitely looks a little bit odd upon first glance, but once you get more context about the play features of this set, it'll start to make more sense. So stick with me throughout this review for that. Now, I think this is a really cool dish piece right here, has that same printed space logo, and the way that it's attached or not attached at all is really fun and really unique. Basically, these bumper pieces here are just holding it in place. Otherwise, it's not actually attached to anything, which is very, very interesting, but also pretty effective. And the interior here, like I said, has the opposite issue of these parts here. There is so much detail. Okay, I lied to an extent. LEGO did sneak one corner of this room that has no detail whatsoever, but every other square brick definitely does. There's so much going on. There's this pedestal here, which I'm assuming can hold a helmet. I couldn't find anything on the box or the instructions on what they actually want to put there, but I think a helmet makes a lot of sense to go right there. You have this crystal over here, and the cool thing is you have this spinning printed part here to examine that. And if you want to move that over to examine this foliage on the other side, this greenery they're growing inside here, you can. That is really fun, and that is really unique. You also have another one of those power cells, which is bringing some power to the rest of this vehicle, so a lot of stuff going on there, and there's more. It's a bit dark in there, but there is a medical symbol because this is a med bay, and you have a little bed that comes out from the wall. That is really fun. The other side is a kitchen. A little bit more obvious with the symbol there, the fork and knife, and this comes down from the wall with 2 water bottles and a pizza. Not sure how they're making pizza in space. Is that freeze dried? I don't want to know what that would taste like, but a very fun piece to include. And there you have it. That is the exterior and the interior of this Galactic spaceship. It's a pretty fun and pretty cool design, despite a couple of random little flaws here and there. But like I mentioned earlier in this review, this entire thing is modular. So I'm going to deconstruct the whole ship. The first pieces you need to remove are these parts up here. LEGO did a very clever thing in adding the grooved parts here, which makes them a lot easier to grip and take off. Additionally, there are a couple on the bottom as well, and those are keeping these modular sections intact. And you can kind of see they're already starting to come apart. So you can pull this piece off right here. This whole mid pod comes off from the back, and then these pop off from the side with these clip attachments. But wait, there's more, because the wing pieces back here are also the same clip attachments, and at the back the engine can come off as well. So yeah, I was not kidding. This whole dang thing is modular. And I think my favorite thing you can do with all of these modular sections is turn this back part here into a space base. Now you need to lock it up for air tightness, and you actually get a couple of additional pieces with more of those printed space logos. So put one of those on that side, put one of those on this side, and then it also has some stabilizers. These pieces here can fold down to go to the ground, and it will stabilize the whole thing, and now this is its own little space base. How cool is that? I cannot believe they were able to basically integrate a play set into a vehicle set. That is just brilliant stuff. Another thing you can do is basically take the remaining pieces and build your own spaceship out of them. So you can take the main cockpit part here, attach those wings onto the side of that. That's what, of course, those gold clip pieces are for. And then add this part to the back as the big engine. And now this is its own smaller spaceship. That is really cool. How about one more example for you? Here is kind of a mid-sized spaceship without that main back section. I mean, there are so many possibilities here, and if you have more of the city space sets, it can just go on and on and on. It's really neat stuff. So, did LEGO City continue its hot streak for space as a sub-theme from 2024 moving on into 2025? I will say, it's kind of a disappointment only getting one set plus a poly bag this year. I would have loved to have seen some more representation for this sub-theme, but the one set we got is certifiably a banger, just like the sets from last year, and it really feels in line with those sets as well. And honestly, the one thing I thought the City Space sub-theme was missing last year was a bigger flagship spaceship set. We had some spaceships, but they weren't huge. We needed something like this, and I'm so glad they delivered it here in 2025, and the set is so much fun. Look, this is a 7+ city set. It did not blow me away in terms of its design techniques or anything, but it is handsomely crafted, and as an adult collector, I think it makes for a decent display piece, especially if you're into the city stuff. But if you are a 7-year-old, there is so much play value here. The whole modular aspect of it is crazy. And if you have more of these city space sets, I just think the play value is endless. It's some of the best playability I've ever seen from a LEGO set and a LEGO sub-theme for that matter. It's really darn good stuff. The minifigures are a little under-detailed for this sub-theme, and there are a couple sections of the interior I think that could have had more stuff going on, so this set is not perfect, but it's really darn good. Now let's talk about the value of this set. The price to part ratio for a city set is fine. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. It could have been $10 cheaper. However, the size to price ratio I think is there. Here is this next to the bigger Rover set from last year, which was $85. They're pretty comparable in size, and there are some very big pieces and specialized molds in this set. So I actually think the value of $80 here is pretty good, especially when compared to a lot of other 2025 LEGO products. I know it seems like I'm seriously glazing this LEGO City Space sub-theme, but I think these sets are just so much fun, and they make me nostalgic for really solid LEGO space themes from back in the day. This is good stuff, and I hope they continue making stuff from it, and that is why this set is going to get a really good rating of a 9 out of 10 from me. What a way to kick off 2025. Thank you all so much for watching today's review. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you're feeling a little bit better than me. I'm so sorry about my voice dying throughout this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.